to start.
All right.
All right, good afternoon. This is the Warren Select Board. It is 3 o'clock on Thursday, October 16th, 2025. We're going to start off with the Fire Chief Monthly Report for September 2025. Good afternoon.
So, how about you sit on the side here so the cameras can see you? This way they're not here in the back of your head.
Perfect. Adam Lavoy, Fire Chief, thank you for having me in today. I'm here to present my September Fire Department report. We responded to 45 fire incidents in the month of September, which included 5 motor vehicle accidents, 8 medical assists or second ambulance calls, while our ambulance was already out, 7 activated alarms, 7 false alarms, 5 service calls or welfare checks, 2 vehicle fires, 3 power line incidents, 1 cooking fire, 1 illegal burn, 1 electrical emergency, 3 investigations, 1 carbon monoxide. There I went myself. It's quite a facility, and it's not nearly as big as the one in Stowe, but it's a great satellite campus that provides a lot of opportunity for search and rescue and burn buildings and things like that. So it's a really nice training ground. Warren EMS personnel trained on assorted EMS skills and medication administration protocols. We set up several stations and kind of worked our way through with all of our EMTs. We did receive word that we were the recipients of grants from FEMA. This is the 3rd grant that we've hit, which is kind of unbelievable. These are very, very, very competitive grants, and we've been very fortunate. So the town has received a lot of equipment. We received about $25,000 this time around, and we're going to be replacing all of our thermal imaging cameras that are they're probably about 10 to 15 years old, depending on which model it is. They're still in use, they still work fine, but we're upgrading them with better technology and more user-friendly units. So I expect that, right now I can't do much with the grant because of the government shutdown. I can't get in and access it or anything like that. So once that's resolved, I will be ordering the units and we'll be working our way through the grant. So this is very similar to the grant that we got for the hose and appliances. We replaced all those, same exact type of grant. And then the other grant we got was for the brush.
What's AFG stand for?
Assistance to Firefighters grants. There's 2 types of grants you can apply for. There's Assistance to Firefighter grants for equipment or apparatus, and then there's the SAFER grant, which we've talked about before, to hire personnel. Like Auburn just hired, they just got a SAFER grant for just under $2 million. They're able to hire 8 full-time firefighters. That's something that I'd like to maybe look at next year, to pick up the last couple firefighters that we would like to get, so we can run some 24 hours a day and not have on-call shifts anymore. But that's certainly something we'll talk about in the future. But they're very competitive grants. The money is kind of starting to dry up, so we were very lucky to get that. In terms of budget, budget's going well. I don't see any major issues. It's about 25 years old and it's not working correctly. It's not heating well anymore, so I do need to replace that so we can do some light cooking for the what's there. That's my report.
All right. Any questions?
Good job, Chief.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Next up, Emergency Management Report for the month of September 2025.
Good afternoon. James McKeon, Emergency Management, which presents the September Emergency Management Report. The 6th of December, as you know, that severe weather passed through our area. First, we had a couple trees down. First tree down with wires around 3:15 p.m. reported on Washington Street. We provided signs and cones to the scene. And then around 3:40, that's when that possible tornado funnel cloud was around. So no official reports. Then around 3:45, a large tree at Old West Brookfield Road took wires blocking the road. That's where I had a CERT member present. We had a police detail on the other side, I believe. Between 4 and 7, the DPW checked all the roads for hazards, all the other roads. Not too many, just a lot of debris. And around 8 p.m., Washington Street was reopened, And around 10 p.m. that evening, all the power in town was restored to the spots that were out. September 7th, we did our siren check again. Everything was good. September 24th, our monthly CERT meeting. 3 members attended. We went over traffic safety and watched a traffic control video, training video. We also got some new wands in. This coming month with all the Halloween events, we'll be out doing traffic and stuff, all the events. September 27th, we had a couple CERT members present for the public safety complex meeting. I stationed 1 member at the back of the Shepherd building because the meeting changed. There was 3 or 4 people there that came by, so we sent them up to the high school.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
Worked out. Last minute change.
Yeah.
So, and we had a couple people up at the high school making sure the traffic was parking was all set up there. We also provided signs and cones for the football games at the high school along Old West Brookfield Road to try to keep people from parking along the intersections and stuff. Seemed to work out pretty well. That's pretty much what I got.
All right. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, next up, Town Administrator monthly report for the month of September 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. So I'd like to just recap on some of the highlights of what I was working on for the month of September. We had conducted our full department head meeting with our risk manager, Deb Williams, on September 3rd. We also participated in the final discussion for the updated town's master plan. That was a well-attended event, and the plan is going to be making its way to CDAC and to the planning board shortly for their review. We held a quarterly discussion. I held a quarterly discussion with the town's IT partner, Entrez Technologies, to discuss the upcoming infrastructure improvements needed to support the town's IT functions, not only for now, but for the future. I also walked through as a possible site in Auburn at the new Central Massachusetts Regional 9/11 District Dispatch Center. There's a possible site in Auburn that I walked through, and I had also asked the police chief and the fire chief to also do a walkthrough. They had a commitment on the day I went, so they went to another day a week later, and they did participate in the walkthrough. We interviewed candidates for the position of animal control officer, and that was subsequently filled for that position by Deborah Young, and she has already started effective October 1st. The alternate is Ryan Davis, and he has also started. We also started the discussion with Ty and Bond to get a budgetary price quote for engineering services here at the senior center related to the ductwork project, which you will see that there's a special town meeting article to address that. Participated in winter-related procurement classes hosted by the Office of the Inspector General. As required by the position that I hold as Chief Procurement Officer, I have to get recertified every 3 years. This is a continuing ed course that I had to take, and I'm on my way to get recertified. It's already been 3 years since I had my certification, and hope to get it by June of this year, of this coming up year. We issued a price solicitation request for auctioneer services for the town's upcoming anticipated tax possession property auction. We are required to solicit price quotations for these types of services. I sent out a price solicitation back in September to 3 companies that customarily do this type of work. Paul Zikos from Zikos Auctioneers, as well as Aaron Posnick from Posnick Auctioneers out of Springfield, and Sullivan & Sullivan, Maureen Sullivan from Sullivan and Sullivan at Sullivan and Sullivan. They're out of the Cape Sandwich area. All have extensive knowledge and extensive backgrounds in municipal auctions. Unfortunately, only one entity submitted a price solicitation quote, and that was Sullivan and Sullivan, and we selected them to move forward. And we're working with the Collins Center to kick off our personnel policy bylaw review. I am continuing to participate in mediation with the Quabog Regional School District Teachers Union. That is still ongoing. We have a next date for mediation is set for December. So we're hoping that we're close to resolving that. I also worked with Town Council on the purchase and sales agreement for 38 Elm Street. And we conducted a finance team meeting in anticipation of the upcoming STM warrant and articles on November 20th. We had a special finance team meeting on that. So I would also like to update the town and the board on tax collections as of September 30th. We have $98,766.97. Of that comprises real estate at $64,976.65. Personal property at $22.14. Motor vehicle excise tax at $22,067.06. Interest and fees at $5,401.12. Registered clears at $1,080. Mobile home parks at $1,500. MLC fees at $300. And sewer liens at $3,420.
All right, any questions? No, sir. All right, thank you, Jim. Thank you. All right, discussion with a possible vote to appoint Griffin Harrington as the Americans with Disabilities Act officer for the town to an indefinite term. So Karen Dusty is the current, and since she no longer works for the town, you need a new ADA person.
Correct.
Okay. So, and Griffin is our candidate?
Yes.
All right. Any discussion?
I'm good with it, just I don't think we can appoint anybody for indefinite.
Yeah,
We can only do 3 years.
Yeah, I would do 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, just, you know,
Because we're limited by the time,
yeah,
sure, pretty sure the bylaw saying we can only do 3 years.
yeah. You okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Griffin Harrington as the Americans with Disabilities Act ADA officer for the town for a 3-year term.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
Richi Hacker, aye. Motion carries. All right, discussion with a possible vote to appoint a tax title custodian for a 1-year term.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. So this is an important position for the upcoming auction. It needs to be clear who is the tax title custodian for the town. In the town report, it does list the treasurer, Don Swistak, as the tax title custodian. And as part of my due diligence to make sure this auction it goes over seamlessly, I checked with the town clerk to see if there needed to be a reappointment or if she was, make sure that she was sworn in. The town clerk notified me that she does not have Dawn being sworn in as that. She doesn't have an appointment slip as that, or an appointment in the book as for Dawn. It needs to be cleared up by the board. This is a board's appointment. In the past, prior to Dawn, I believe one of the Board of Selectmen served as a tax title custodian. Dawn vaguely remembers that she was appointed maybe back in 2017 to 2019 by the board, but she can't find an appointment slip or a paper or how the length of the term is. So I would encourage the board to get this cleared up and make it clear who the board wants in that position. And it certainly can be anybody. I would recommend that it be somebody that has some knowledge of what has transpired so far during this process in terms of how we got to this auction, this potential auction on November 18th, and knows the properties that are being proposed. And this particular position, what will happen is that this particular person will sit in front of the auctioneer, and as the auctioneer calls out the highest bid, the auctioneer will turn to the tax title custodian and will say, do you want to sell the property? And at that point, that will be the final decision of the sale. So that person will be making the final call on the sale of the properties. And once the hammer goes down, the sale is final.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to appoint Mr. Farrar. I think he's the most capable person, impartial to any aspect with the town finances to do something with this. He's also been handling it the whole time as far as what's going on. I think he'd be the best qualified candidate for this.
All right, so is there a second?
Second that.
All right.
And that's gonna be, well, I'll make a motion to appoint Mr. Farrar as the tax title custodian for a 1-year term.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
Richi Hacker, aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Review, discuss with a possible vote on the tax possession property list for properties that were obtained through the tax title foreclosure process that are being proposed to be sold at the upcoming municipal auction on November 18th, 2025. All right,
So before you is in section 5, there's a list of 14 properties, potential properties that could be auctioned off. They are being reviewed by council, and council only has some concerns over Pleasant Street. The Pleasant Street address, when the taking was done back some time ago, the deed that was recorded has a different square footage amount than what the taking had recorded at the time. So we need to clear that up with the Board of Assessors, and if that could be answered and it matches with the taking, then that parcel can go forward for the sale. If it doesn't match up, if the square footage and the square feet do not match up, then it would be recommended and wise for us to pull that from the auction list at this time until that can be sorted out. But other than that, all the other properties, there was one that had a minor bankruptcy back in 2000 on Southbridge Road, but the attorney feels confident that it won't be an obstacle for the seller to close, but it's worth keeping it in mind. So we don't have, he didn't recommend pulling it at this time, but other than that, that would be the only property. The list that is in front of you will have the dollar amount of the estimated amount that is owed to the town for these properties. And they include legal fees, interest, and the back taxes. So in total, we're estimated to be owed $326,326.48. We're hopeful that we can recover that, but there's no guarantee.
Okay. And it's getting them off our books and putting them back into the town
Yeah.
and collecting taxes from them.
All right, so what would, well, do we need to wait to hear about Pleasant Street?
No.
Or should we approve this without Pleasant Street?
If it doesn't match up, we'll just have to pull it from the auction list.
Okay, all right. So if you two are okay with the list,
I'm good with it.
then we need a motion to accept it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the tax possession property list
And approve the sales.
and approve the sales of the properties through the auction process.
Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
David Dufresne,
Derek Bailey's aye.
Richi Hacker, aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Discussion with a possible vote to enter into a contract with Sullivan and Sullivan Auctioneers LLC for auctioneer services and to allow the town administrator to sign said contract.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Before you this evening is the proposal from Sullivan and Sullivan. They have already started in good faith because we are under a little bit of a time crunch with advertising. We want to make sure that people are made aware of what's going on, and we've started the process as quickly as possible, especially with the holidays coming up. It is a tougher time to sell around Christmas, so we wanted to make sure that we hit the mark before Christmas. The sale is pretty straightforward. They're going to be in charge of the sale. They're going to be meeting with us. They're going to be doing advertising. They're going to be promoting the sale on their website, on signage, direct mail, newspaper ads, direct emails, flyers, and their fee is 5%. That's the buyer's premium fee. So the buyer will be responsible for paying 5% if they are the successful winner of the bid.
And where's the auction gonna be held?
The auction will be held in the Shepherd Building gym.
Okay.
As you can see, Sullivan & Sullivan has done quite a bit of work in municipalities. They've done auctions all around us, Granville, Woburn, New Bedford, Holland, Brimfield, Brookfield, Springfield, Wilbraham. I believe that they have, you know, enough credibility to handle the sale.
All right, any questions, comments?
I'm good with it.
You have any questions?
Just as a naive question, let's say nothing sells, they don't get any 5%.
Correct.
Yeah.
No questions. No more questions.
All right, so, maybe write it down too, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a real auction.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting, you know, especially when you have quite a bit of properties. You know, 13, 14, you know, that's a good number to have an auction.
Should we call HDTV?
All right, so, I just need a motion, do we need a motion on this?
Yep.
Okay, oh yeah, cause you, so
To
it's gotta
sign
be,
the contract.
to sign the contract.
I'll make a motion to enter into a contract with Sullivan & Sullivan Auctioneers LLC for the auctioneer services and allow the town administrator to sign said contract on our behalf.
Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
David Dufresne.
Derek Bailey's aye.
Richi Hacker, aye. Motion passes. All right, review and discuss any special town meeting articles for the November 20th, 2025 warrant.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before you this afternoon is the draft warrant. And it's still very fluid. We do not have free cash certified as of yet. The accountant and the finance team are working diligently on that and should have an update for you hopefully relatively soon. But these are the articles that have been reviewed by the Capital Planning Committee as well as the Finance Committee. They are going to continue their review next week. They have made some recommendations through some of these articles already. It's not updated yet on your sheet, but I'm more than happy to go through them with you and answer any questions. Some of the dollar amounts are still fluid because we don't know yet what our final number is for free cash, and it will depend on that.
Okay, so I'll ask, are there any, instead of going through the whole thing, are there just any questions on any articles or comments?
Going through them right now.
All right, so I have two spelling issues.
Okay.
As would be.
Which one?
So page 2, the 8,900.
Yep.
I would, after 8,900 to maintenance on town buildings line, I would do a period there in capital F.
Okay.
Funds were used. And the same with the second, the article after that.
Okay.
8,000 to legal expense fund.
Yep.
Line, period, funds were used.
Okay.
And then the other thing, I have a question about that too. We talked about doing a new meeting date for the ATM.
Mm-hmm. Would you like that on there?
Yeah, well, this is,
Okay.
we can't do it any other time.
All right. I wasn't sure if you wanted it on for now or for in June.
It's for June.
Right, but then we'd have to
We
wait
have to-
another
we
year.
have to
And the
ask-
whole
Oh,
point is to be
okay.
able to go to these CMRPC annual
Okay.
meetings.
All right. I did mention it to the finance team when we had talked about it in our finance team meeting. They did have some reservations about moving it and causing some delays in getting some of the information that they need to DOR and to the schools and different things to that nature. So I can circle back around with them a little bit further to get some of the more comments on that if you'd like, or
Okay. Well, I don't know, was it you that brought it up? I mean,
It's me because we've been so successful with grants and help and technical stuff from CMRPC. And it happens that every time that they do the annual to celebrate, it's kind of like an official 1 year round thing where they invite all the selectmen from all the towns that they work with, and we're not there anymore. The last time we were there was 2 years ago, and that's when we got had big mention for Warren, and then
You can't go. Yeah, I think it's really important that we go.
Okay.
I mean, holy moly, how much have they helped us? I can't imagine we could even move it to a Wednesday. It doesn't have to be a Thursday even, right? I mean, yeah. So if the week is a problem, so we could do the first, so it's the second week in June is when they have it, on a Thursday. So if we want to keep the second week of June generically, we could do a Wednesday. Or we could move it to the first or third Thursday if we want to keep Thursdays, but Thursday doesn't really have any particular significance. I don't think, right? I mean, it's just a day.
it's up to you. You know.
Ray, you're on finance, any comments?
Ray Capaco, Chair of the Finance Committee. Yeah, my comment is, you've got to coordinate with the school, you've got to reset expectations with the town, you've got to create an issue when there's no strong need to do so. You can send a note of appreciation to CMRCP. Your allegiance is to the town and then other things. And so in my opinion, accommodating, listen, don't get me wrong. I understand responding to CMRCP and like your if our presence at their annual dinner is somehow, what is it, quid pro quo? I mean, you don't need to be at the CMRCP dinner. It would be nice to be there, but at what expense? Moving the annual town meeting, which has already been moved a couple times in the recent past, I don't feel it's a good need to be there. I understand and appreciate your willingness to show that consideration to be there, but I think I made my point.
Okay.
So that's my input about it.
I don't know, personally, I'd like to move it. I mean, the town can decide whether they want us to or not, but I think it's important.
Okay.
You know, it's like any other event, you invite people, you know, it's a big deal.
What date would you like me to have the article written for?
I don't know, what do you guys think? We can keep it the same week, and that way, it'll align with West Brookfield, which is what we tried to do, right, by making it the second Thursday. So why don't we make it the second Wednesday? I don't know, anybody have an opinion? The second Tuesday?
Give the school a couple of dates so they can, because they already know the graduations and all that stuff, so we don't conflict with that.
Let me check with Steve and,
Okay, all right, that's.
so it would be either the second Wednesday or the second Tuesday is what you're looking for?
Is that
Any day but that one.
Okay.
any day but, yeah, it could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't think anybody wants to meet on a Friday, so.
Okay. All right.
And we tried Saturday.
Okay.
All right, so my other question is, you know, we heard about this thing from Quabog at Capital Planning yesterday. I didn't realize it was actually gonna be a warrant article, because I hadn't had a chance to read this yet. But this is Warren footing the bill 100%.
Correct.
There is no 60-40 split
Correct.
on this one. So this is the $100,000 for the lights. I think people need to know about that.
Okay.
I don't want them to vote thinking this is our 60 and then
Right.
West Brookfield's gonna do a 40% of something.
Yeah.
'Cause
So,
it's gonna come back on us.
so the finance committee in the capital planning committee tabled it. And, you know, if the board wants to follow suit, then they could table it. And I think Steve is going to reach out to West Brookfield to see if there's anything that they can contribute, percentage-wise or not percentage-wise, you know, if they can contribute, you know, 10,000 or, you know, 20,000, you know, towards it. I think he's gonna then report back to the FinCom and to the capital planning, and then maybe the article could be placed.
Okay, so what are you saying? So, but this is good, for now, this is just a placeholder.
That's a placeholder. You guys could say you don't want it on the warrant, and I'll take it off.
All right. I mean, we can leave it for now, just to see. So we left it at capital planning with, Mr. Duff was gonna go back to West Brookfield, like Jim just said, and talk to them and see if they were willing to contribute anything. But I just wanted, if it does end up, I want it to be clear that we're 100%, even though it's a shared building, a shared facility, so.
So the total cost is 100,000
Correct.
for everything,
Yes.
and only Warren is gonna
Yep.
butt in?
Right.
So it's not like we're
West Brookfield needs
60,000.
West Brookfield needs to, you know, help over there too.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
that's why capital planning, we just didn't make a
I mean,
recommendation.
from my point of view, lights are old, lights are bad. You know, it becomes a safety issue at some point with the kids playing at night and everything, and security for the tennis courts. I think think it's a good thing, but I don't think it's good that only us will pay for it.
Yeah,
Can I make a suggestion?
yeah.
So how about we just say $60,000, West Brookfield gotta contribute the $40,000. And if they fail to get the $40,000 from West Brookfield, the money comes back to the town.
Yep.
Because I don't want them turning around and saying, okay, well, now we get $60,000 we can spend on something else that the town gave us. It's for the lights, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if they can't get West Brookfield to help out, then the money comes back to the town.
and if it needs to be, 60,000, unless it could be a,
Unless they just do the stadium lights for 60. But
Well,
it's
no,
still,
then
it's still,
No, then
we
we're
need
still
to be
paying for the
fair.
whole thing.
yeah, I think it has to be.
It should be
Take that back.
a 60-40
Yeah,
split. And if it can't be done and West Brookfield doesn't agree to it, it doesn't get done.
and if you need to adjust, so if it's like 6139 or, whatever, that's fine.
I understand we're trying to help the school out, but it's supposed to, we have an agreement with the school and they're supposed to be contributing. West Brookfield's supposed to be contributing also.
Yeah, I don't think we can start,
Yeah,
because if we do this, I don't know. then-
we've done it before to help them out and it seems like it's, well, now Warren will foot the bill for us.
Yeah.
I'm good with the rest of them. They're gonna be changed anyways.
Oh,
This is just a draft.
yeah. Okay, just one, real quick, the finance, so all you're doing is setting, so there was never an thing about the quorum in there, is that the deal with it? Sorry, I'm jumping ahead to the bottom of page 4. You're adding this line, in which the quorum of the body shall be a majority of the members serving the body, right? Oh, it should be serving the body, not serving of the body.
Yep.
I mean, there's not like an implied quorum, do you have to do
I
this?
believe there is, and that's 7 now, is it? Is it
Five.
a 5, yeah.
It's
Because
a
the-
5-member board, so you need 3 for a quorum.
Okay, so, okay. And you just need to spell that out when you do.
Well, they're looking to have just the majority of the members, so, it's 5 registered voters, yeah.
Okay, right. I guess I just always thought it was quorum would be implied all the time,
If I may,
but. Yeah.
quorum is implied. It's a 5-member board, but there's
Yeah.
only 3 active members. And so if one of those members is unable to attend, we can't ever have a quorum.
Right,
So if there's 3 active members, the quorum could be 2. Is the effect of that bylaw. And in practical terms,
is that read correctly though, for what you just said? Just to make sure.
I believe it does.
The quorum of the body shall be a majority of the members serving the body. Do you want the word active in there?
If the word active was in there, that would be fine. Yeah, it would be.
Okay. So you might.
It's, if you're a member, active is implied, but I don't mind active being in there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You can't be a member if you're inactive. There's no such thing as an inactive member.
Yeah, yeah,
So, but it doesn't hurt to put the word in there. It's
yeah.
might make it read a little.
I can check with council if they,
So this is different than like our board or planning board, where planning board is fixed at 5, and you have to have, you can't say we have 3 members and quorum is 2. Planning board is 3 members need to show up to a meeting, and if you end up with 2 members on planning board, you're done. You can never meet. So this is different, right? I mean, this is, okay. I just wanna make sure I understand.
Given that planning board has actual authority to act,
Okay,
and finance is only advisory with the exceptions of line item transfers, I don't think it has the, I understand what you're getting at. You're making a point that, you're only gonna have 2 people on a 5-member board really making all the decisions.
Yeah,
Right now, 2 people can make a decision on the finance team,
yeah,
even
sure.
with 3 people.
Yeah,
So all
yeah,
you need is 2 to 1 and it prevails.
yeah,
So it's just a way for the finance committee to continue to function when only 2 people are available for any given meeting.
okay.
As you know, we've had a lot of trouble trying to solicit people.
Oh, yeah, for everything.
The good news is there is a candidate who is expressed interest and is likely to pursue it, so
Okay,
that would at least get us back up to 4, so.
okay, good,
But-
all right. Okay. So you'll be continuing to work on this and,
Yeah,
okay,
we'll have a revised one for next week.
okay. All right. Communication from the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities on the town's award of a $22,000 state community planning grant for the purpose of drafting a housing production plan with a possible vote to assign the town administrator to administer said grant. And this requires a $3,000 match from the town, which we pull out of our line item for that. Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, the board members, the town was recently awarded $22,000 as part of its a grant that we had applied for over the summer, community planning grant, to draw up a Warren housing production plan. This is our goal to come up with a first for producing houses here in town, what needs to be done, to have a clear master plan for this specific purpose. And as the agenda item indicates, there is a $3,000 match required. We were just notified of this grant on September 30th. I wanted to bring it to the board's attention, and we will be having contractual documents that come from the state that will need to be signed.
All right. This is good. Any questions, comments?
No.
You all set?
I'm just trying to be what it means.
What's a housing production plan, by the way?
So it will indicate, it will be drafted by planners who will assess the town and areas of the town where it can grow its housing stock, and what might be needed to grow its housing stock, whether it be water, sewer, utilities and different things to that nature, how you can grow your housing stock, and then coming up with a plan to address that.
Okay. Kind of works with the master plan then too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Just finish that. Okay.
Very interesting. It's a good thing.
All right, so we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to authorize, well, I'll make a motion to approve. No?
Accept the grant?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the grant from the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities for the town's award of $22,000 and authorize the town administrator to manage that grant and sign on behalf of the board.
All right, is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
David Dufresne.
Derek Bailey's aye.
Which I have your aye, motion passes.
I just want to make a comment. It says, give more control over the types of housing developed rather than being subject to developers' comprehensive permit applications.
Yeah.
So it is a good thing.
Yep. All right, acceptance of a state grant in the amount of $20,295.24 from the Office of Public Safety and Security to support the FY26 Municipal Road Safety Program and to authorize the police chief to sign and manage said grant.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The chief is on vacation this week, but he did want to get this to the board He's very excited about this. The town was awarded $20,295.24 for the National Highway Safety Administration grant. This is to do some safety initiatives when it comes to traffic. And he's asking the town to accept it and to authorize him as the manager and signer of the grant.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
And there's no match?
No match.
All right, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the grant for $20,295.24 from the Office of Public Safety and Security to support the FY26 Municipal Road Safety Program and authorize the police chief to sign and manage the grant money.
Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
David Dufresne.
Derek Bailey's aye.
Richi Hacker, aye. Motion passes. Review and discuss the proposed fiscal year 2027 budget calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As we always do with upcoming budget, we have our proposed FY27 budget calendar. I met with the Finance Committee to go over the dates with this, and I would like to bring it to the board for consideration, so I can get it out to departments, so that departments know what the expectations are for dates and the requirements that we're looking to get. So we're going to start establishing the FY27 budget guidelines with the board on December 4th. So at your December 4th meeting, you'll be sending out that directive to all the departments. And then on January 8th, there will be a memo to departments for their departmental and capital expenditure requests, and any proposed articles will be asked on January 8th and will be due back by February 5th. And then we'll continue on throughout the process. We will have to change the budget calendar if the ATM and the STM get moved.
Good with it. It's a fluid document, so if anything changes, we don't have to.
Yeah. And how did it work for FY26? Did you know the map?
The map was helpful. We did receive departments' budget requests late, some departments.
Okay.
And so FinCom has signaled to me that they do not want that to happen again. And so we're going to remind the departments again that you know, they need to submit everything in a timely manner as per the budget calendar. So
Okay.
it's a work in progress.
Yeah. All right. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Moving on. Review and discuss first amended notice of action from the Architectural Access Board granting a variance at 48 High Street with instructions to all boards, committees, and commissions. All right, and this is why we're here today.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. So, as you may recall, I had made a variance request to the Architectural Access Board in September because of the wheelchair lifts being down. We were granted that variance request after 2 meetings, and that gives us a variance until April 4th of 2026. I have to stress that these variances are extremely difficult to get, and they have to go through a pretty rigorous vetting process to get them. And so I had to draft an access plan for the building, for the Shepherd building, and part of the plan is going to be updated by tomorrow, and it's gonna be posted, again, out there, and which means that we can't have public meetings at the Shepherd Building. They have to be held here, or at Quabog. So, that's a requirement of the open meeting law. So any publicly posted meetings would have to be here or Quabog. I mean, if they're not a public meeting, or if they're not, or if it doesn't have to be under the open meeting law requirement, then we're okay. You know, but we have to be cognizant of the open meeting law requirements.
So a subcommittee could meet.
If it's under the open meeting law, you would have to have it, it would have to be posted, and you would have to be here.
Right,
If it's subject to the open meeting law, yeah. But if you know, yourself and me met, you know, in my
Oh, yeah,
office,
yeah.
that would be fine.
Okay.
But if, you know, a quorum of a subcommittee or an officially recognized subcommittee
Yeah,
meets, then it would have to be in an accessible location.
okay.
So a rule of thumb is if you have to post it, you can't have the meeting if you shut it down.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, any questions?
No, this is just, again, the importance of having property that's available to us that's ADA compliant, because if we go non-ADA compliant, it could set us into some problems.
Yeah.
And my understanding is we could be spending $80,000 on a wheelchair lift to help us be compliant, or over $1 million for an elevator to make us compliant. And, you know, one of those options, but one of them has to happen.
Yeah.
It's not even an option. One of them's gotta happen if we wanna have meetings.
Okay. You good?
I'm good, sir.
Okay.
It's very common practice.
All right. Discussion with a possible vote to give the town administrator the signing authority to submit vendor bills for payment to the accountant's office prior to the board's ratification to allow for timely payment processing.
So, Mr. Chairman, in your packets, there is a request from the town accountant. She had written me an email, and we had talked about this. You know, I know as of recently, because the board has decided to meet every couple weeks now, there has been a few bills, one in particular, the copier lease, that we would put through to get paid, to have it paid, and we would ratify it at the next meeting. And she said that, you know, technically we really shouldn't be doing that, and I agree with her, without authorization from the board. The reason why we were doing that is because we were getting hit with late fees on these bills. And, you know, I wanted to avoid having to call back and having a late fee removed and so on and so forth. This is not an uncommon practice because departments such as police, fire, highway, the heads of those departments, they sign off on their own bills and they get submitted to the town accountant, and the board of selectmen never sees them. And never approves them. So theoretically, if you were talking about the town department, I would be the department head for the town, more or less.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's up to you guys. If you want to do it, I don't have a problem with it. If you don't want to do it, that's fine too. I think that we have a good enough understanding that if something out of the ordinary comes up for a bill, that I would get on the phone and contact you individually and say, hey, look, we got this bill and this is the reason why. And if I wasn't to be here in the future, you know, you may not want, you know, to give this authority out to, you know, somebody new.
Yeah, at least at the beginning.
At the beginning,
Yeah.
until you know, have a better relationship with that person.
I'm sorry, that's not gonna happen.
Well, we've never not voted on something. So I guess that would be the question. what happens?
No, we've questioned things that
Questioned
we're
things.
within there,
Yeah,
to get clarification what they were, and what was being spent, the money was being spent on. But as far as saying no,
yeah, I don't think we've ever, I mean, this,
we've probably done it once or twice the entire time.
maybe, yeah. So if that situation happened, what would be the ramifications?
So, I mean, if,
You know, you approve to pay, you approve to get it paid, it's
Mhm.
going through the system, and then we have a meeting and we say, no, we're not gonna pay that for some reason.
well, then I guess you would, you would have a discussion with me as to why I approved it, and what was the reasoning behind that.
You would put them on notice and then say, hey, if this continues and you continue to approve things that are not within
The scope.
the scope of
Yeah.
our
Okay,
town, then we're gonna pull that authority from you.
yeah, I think.
And because
the chances
whatever
of-
authority you give, you can take away.
Yeah, absolutely, okay.
So if you give it to them now, it's fine,
Mhm.
but at any point, you can sit there and say, something, this is not going right for us and we're gonna take this back.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that would happen, but there is also, you have evaluations too. If things are being approved overall and he's failing to meet standards or the requirements of the board, you would reflect that in his annual evaluation too.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I think, I don't know, I don't have any reason to not trust Jim, so,
The only other option is for the board to meet weekly again,
Mhm.
which I'm all for. I don't have a problem with that. But we also can't be holding up the function of the town and getting dinged for late fees because we're meeting bi-weekly now.
yeah. You have a comment?
Would you entertain some input?
Yeah.
And just, yeah, I have already spoken to Jim about this, just so you're aware. And I don't have any problem with Jim personally having this kind of authority, because he's proven himself to be a responsible person. But I think it's an unnecessary move for the board to adopt this policy, because it can be mitigated so easily. And I appreciate the comments of meeting weekly, that would mitigate it completely. I would, if you do go forward with the policy, I'd highly recommend that you explicitly in the policy establish certain limits. So for example, if there's a bill that comes into the town that's due in less than 21 days, for example, there might be a reason for that to be acted on expeditiously. And so having that authority would prevent a jam up with the bill being processed.
Yeah.
But most bills aren't coming in due in less than 21 days. Secondly, what about putting a dollar limit on it?
Yeah.
Because
I knew you were gonna do, yeah.
yeah. So obviously, a pane of glass gets broken, a local glazier comes in and replaces it, there's a $102 bill, he wants it paid in 2 weeks, Jim can authorize it, because it's got a limit, and even if he erred and you guys didn't ratify it for some reason, okay, you're right, he gets spanked for $102, yada, yada, yada. So fixing some limit would be one mitigating factor. Authorizing bills that are due on a short time frame would be another aspect to the policy that could be implemented. And also what Jim already alluded to, that in the future you could withdraw that. The concern I have about that is 15 years from now when Jim finally does leave us, no one's going to remember any of this policy. It's not going to get reviewed. When there's a different board sitting here, it's going to be, and the new town administrator who doesn't have the scruples that Jim does, starts making sure his cousin can get some action, and he's, whatever. It allows for a potentially slippery slope. Again, I've reassured, and we all know, it has nothing to do with Jim personally at all. It completely not. It's just a general concept. The checks and balances are there for a reason. I appreciate what he said about department heads having that authority already. but there are department heads who have a budget that is constrained. The town budget is also constrained, I suppose you could say, but there's still a little more ability for things to be a little looser. It would be obvious if Jeremy or Adam or any of the other department heads were really busting their budgets. That can be flagged pretty quickly, pretty easily. So it's just, again, I'm not opposed to a policy as long as it has good constraints and parameters established with it. But I just wanted to share those inputs.
Okay,
Thank
so I
you.
like that. So, basically date sensitivity, and we probably could put upper limit on the amount. And then I would say we reauthorize this every year, right? So it won't get lost because we have to, and it will expire. And once it expires, it comes back to us, and then we'd have to reauthorize it.
If I may, I forgot one comment. The issue with the particular example of the printer lease, if that, I presume that's a fixed amount every month?
Yep.
Yeah,
So you could authorize that for,
yeah.
you could do a pre-authorization either every month or for the quarter or even for the year perhaps. I don't know how that would work, practically speaking, but you could anticipated bills like, I really don't, because I don't know the process and the details of how it worked out. And by the way, I have a great confidence in Jackie too, our town accountant. So I'm sure there's an issue here. I just don't know enough of the detail to speak further to it, but I think it could be solved. The mitigation could happen in this specific example also fairly easily by pre-authorizing the next month's lease.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay. Okay, so maybe we should think about this for
Sure.
a cycle. Is there any bills coming up that we're gonna have a problem with? How about that? Just deal with specific situations.
You got the copier lease, did we already pay that this month? Is Verizon one of them too?
Usually, so we got the Verizon one. Usually the issue is it's peak, BEAC.
That's the copier
That one
lease.
usually comes in the week of our second meeting of the month. And it's one of those ones where it says like due upon receipt, usually. So that's been the hang up with it, and it always ends up being that was so probably next week is when I'm guessing I'm gonna get that bill. So that's usually how it's been rolling, just with how we've staggered the meetings so far.
So, Mr. Chair, I got a little comment here. I actually like Ray's comment on recurring expenses, because those are things we know we're getting hit with every month, and it's pretty much the same
Same,
every month.
yeah.
I think our concern are any special, non-reoccurring bills
Yeah,
that come up. So I think if we authorize him to sign and pay for reoccurring expenses only, any non-reoccurring shall be reviewed by the board.
the usual, yeah. And we do that for 1 year?
1 year.
1 year authorization?
So reoccurring meaning like utility bills?
Utilities, copiers,
Yeah.
stuff we have contracts
Okay, that's
for,
fine.
we know what we're paying.
Yeah,
It's not like all of a sudden senior center needs a new bulkhead and it's gonna
Right.
cost us 10 grand and you sit there and say, oh, okay, boom.
yeah.
Well,
Right.
we need to see that,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
that's good.
Okay.
So,
What do you think? Okay,
Agreed with David.
all right, so can you, put that in a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Ferrara to pay reoccurring expenses for the town of Warren at the approval of the board.
How about for a 1 year
For a
period?
1 year period, non-reoccurring expenses shall be reviewed by the board.
Should we start it today?
Sure.
Okay, so expiring on October 16th, 2026.
And then we'll do the, those are for reoccurring expenses with no cap, right? There's no dollar cap on those.
Well, they adjust,
Yeah,
so
so
it's the same thing, it's a
So if it's
recurring thing.
25,000 a month, then it's
Right.
25,000.
Right, if we set a cap, then
Yeah, it's
we're back in the same
tough to
situation.
track.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have the ratification still at your next meeting?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a motion made, is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
Richi Hacker, aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, so that was 12/13. Okay, discussion on setting the time for trick or treating on December 31st. It's kind of fun we have to actually do this. Okay.
So the usual time,
Is
Yeah.
that what everyone wants?
What's the time?
It's usually 5 to 6:30. It's about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Most of the activities on this side of town, unless there is in downtown Warren. And the parade is at 6:30. I know I mentioned it's the same.
5 to 6:30, and then 6:30 is the parade
Yeah.
going through the central.
So they want to keep it the same as past years? October 31st, on Halloween.
I'm good with that.
Do we even need a vote? Or just, yeah.
You're good.
We'll just make sure we'll start,
Yeah.
if you want.
Right.
If you want to
Okay
vote
with
on it,
that?
accept it.
Yeah, okay.
For every trick or treat, I think it works fine.
Yeah.
We'll start putting it out. I know a lot of people are starting to ask and stuff.
Okay.
Cool, thanks.
Jimmy, before you leave, I heard good comments and I heard not so good comments about doing the map.
Yes, when we tried that, I don't know if that's something that people.
The
that I
good
think-
comments is people like it and they saw it, it was
Yeah.
useful. A couple bad comments is like, oh, I'd sign up and nobody came, but he was.
Yes.
all the
Yeah.
way.
We
You
can't
know.
make kids
I
walk
know.
3
Just
miles
'cause
out of their way to go to one house.
Come
Yes.
on.
And that's
Yeah.
why it's usually triggered around the
Yeah.
neighborhoods, this area to downtown Warren area possibly.
Yeah.
Or maybe we declare an official area, kind of stuff, so,
That's another thing if you wanna.
I have to say, I haven't had a trick or treater in over 8 years, so.
Yeah, I don't get them on my street either. Too dark and too steep.
Yeah.
Well, we usually, with my kids, we do one over there, then we jump in the middle, and then we end up here for the parade.
That's
But
a good
I-
idea.
I'm
Well,
just,
that's why there were talks too, extending it. Some towns do 5 to 7. But if you wanna keep it to that 6:30.
I think 5-7 will work as well. It leaves a little bit of cushion.
I'm good with 5 to 7. Yeah, give them, because if you're only giving them an hour and a half, and you gotta kind of move
So you
quickly.
want the parade to still be at 6:30?
Parade at 7,
7.
is that okay?
I would do it after trick or treating,
Yeah.
when trick or treating closes, because you don't want, and that's the other thing, is because everybody tries to get to the parade, so it's really only an hour. People are trick or treating for, down in West Warren, and then they're going over to the,
Though
to
I do
the
know
parade.
some of these streets, some of the people actually run out of candy within an hour. So
Yeah.
that's the thing to think about too.
Well, maybe that
It
allows
winds
for
down.
the map to work and have parents look at other places where they have candy too.
Mm.
I mean, that's it.
I would say maybe for this time, keep it the same.
Right.
Okay, no problem with that.
It's just options to think about.
No, my comment was about if you wanna do a map, let me know, I'll help you.
Yeah.
And if not, that's fine, maybe you
Well, we'll
wanna
just
do
kinda
it.
advertise more, people ask what's the good spots in town, give them.
That's what I was thinking on,
Give them a couple
this
options.
Well, I would stay away from that, because then you start directing people, all the foot traffic into one area, and people are gonna feel like, well, why don't you, I wanna see trick or treaters too.
Yeah.
So if you just stay impartial, everybody knows where to go.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
know, and if they wanna try someplace different, they can.
yeah,
But
okay.
when we
Just
get
make
too
a
much into the
statement out.
managing of it and making sure people are going in certain areas,
It becomes a zoo then, too.
yeah, and then people are gonna be hurt. you're gonna have hurt feelings.
So we'll just make trick or treating available from 5 PM to 6:30,
Mhm.
and raid at 6:30,
Yeah,
North Street.
Same as
yeah, I
usual.
think that's good.
Good.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, warrants and bills.
Alrighty?
Yep. Right, this is anticipated vote to authorize the payments of warrants and bills,
Alright.
all the way at the beginning, yeah.
Okay, I make a motion to pay the following warrant. Payroll, 07-26 for $149,905. Accounts payable, 13-26 for $1,014,625.90. Accounts payable for 13A-26 for $630. Accounts payable for 14-26, $4,313.30. Accounts payable 15-26 for $66,122.78.
Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
Richi Hacker, aye, motion passes.
Sorry, I got stuck on the whole million part because it's not usual. We're sitting there saying, okay, let's authorize $1 million.
I'm sure that was,
going out the door.
one of the school's payments.
Oh, great. All right, bills. I'll make a motion to pay the following bills. Massachusetts Municipal Association for $743. Entree for $430. Merrick Law for $598.50. Verizon for $1,092.04. Servulux for $302.98. C2MA Adams for $2,195.14. Modern Pest for $2,208. Masscore for $61.50. Easy True Value for $6.99. Hamden Communications Corp. for $1,950. American Tower for $2,379.52. B&H Photo Video for $847.04. Stericycle for $136.72. Warren Electrical Contractors, Inc. for $3,716.19. Warren Water District for $196.27. Primo Brands for $16.58. Comcast Business for $279.89. CMRPC for $25,000. Concentra for $257. National Grid for $18.73.
Is there a second?
Second?
All right, Merrick Law?
Yep.
What, do you remember what that invoice?
That is for the wrapping up of the remainder of the last litigation for ZPT.
Okay, all right. All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
Richi Hacker, aye. Motion passes. Possible motion to amend the meeting minutes from 9/11/2025 to reflect the chair's acknowledgement of a social media policy. Can I just wrap this with, and then meeting minutes from 9/25? Oh, I see what you did.
Yeah, just so you can vote on the amendment and then I
All right,
have the
so we need to vote on
amended
the
version,
amendment.
which then you can approve if,
So just at the bottom of the,
yeah, I have it.
we just need to approve that. It's not on there. So if someone can make a motion.
I'll make a motion to, oh, hold on a second. I'll make a motion to amend the meeting minutes for 9/11/2025 to reflect the chair's acknowledgement of the social media policy.
Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
Richi Hacker, aye. Okay, and then a motion to approve the minutes. The amended minutes from 9/11 and the minutes from 9/25/2025.
So said.
So moved?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
Richi Hacker, aye. Motion passes. Town administrator report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Good evening again. I just want to touch upon two things real quick in this week's report. Number one, Chapter 90. Chapter 90 is for our roads and is a state grant for the maintenance of our roads and repairs of our roads. There's a breakdown here that has been provided to me by Chris Bouchard from District 2. That is in your packet so that you can take a look at it. We currently have available in Chapter 90 that has been uncommitted almost $1 million, so that's $988,405. And we currently have other projects that have been committed, and that's roughly about $632,644.52 that are open projects. So there's about $600,000 that is committed and is currently open, and there's over $900,000 that is uncommitted at the moment. So you can certainly have a conversation with our highway surveyor, Jeremy, if you'd like to get updates on what is currently open and what his recommendations are for the future for unopened funds. That discussion can happen at any time. Probably should happen before we get our next award. Our next award should be somewhere around March of next year. Usually when Chapter 90 comes out. I also want to bring to the board's attention that as we're closing out fiscal year 25, the part of the closeout period and for us to get free cash certified by the Department of Revenue, one of the things that the accountant has to provide to the Department of Revenue is any negative balances in grants. And as of June 30th of 2025, Chapter 90 had a negative balance of $315,000 that needs to be applied for reimbursement purposes. If that is not applied for reimbursement, that could potentially affect the town's free cash position when it does get certified. Reimbursement requests are submitted by the highway surveyor, and he's in charge of certifying the reimbursement, providing the copy of the documentation, and that documentation to the accountant, who would then also have to sign off on it. I know the accountant has asked several times to the highway surveyor to get this documentation in. I have asked for this documentation to get in, so I've requested it. I know Jeremy's extremely busy, but this could have an impact on the town's free cash position come certification time if that is not submitted. And that was due to be submitted on September 30th. And then my final report back is today. Myself and Selectmen Belize were a part of the Italian American Heritage celebration here at the Senior Center. We had over 70 people here in attendance. It was great to see everybody that looks forward to this luncheon every year come out. We've been doing this now for 3 years now. We're going to continue the tradition. Hopefully the prices of cannolis don't go up anymore. It's been really a fun tradition that we've had here, and we look forward to doing it in the future.
Excellent.
Great job.
Good. All right, any questions?
No, my only comment is that, as the chair, you should sit down with the highway surveyor, talk to him about this.
Okay.
And get it done, because that needs to be done. I understand he's busy, but you gotta keep up on your paperwork too, and you gotta be able to submit things, and if you don't do it in a timely process, then, you know, there's consequences to that. And I'd hate to see the town lose free cash
Yeah.
for something like this, because even if we did get it, it's not like we could take chapter 90 funds and apply it to free cash afterwards and get that back. Once we spend the free cash for any bills, it's gone. So we don't get that money back when he gets his chapter 90 funds back, so that gotta be done, and it gotta be done ASAP.
Okay.
So, that's my own.
Okay. Anything?
No, sir.
All right. New business? No new business?
No,
Old,
sir.
old business?
I think we know the status of all the old stuff we've talked about each time, nothing's changed.
Yeah. Okay. Correspondence, so what do we have? 14. Oh, we just got, real estate and property, personal property tax lists. Right, this is all the outstanding.
Yep, so one of the things that I did notice on the tax list, on the back tax list, is that, and I don't mean to call them out in purpose, but just want to bring attention to the board. Eagles Club has been behind on their taxes, and so when they're up for their renewal of their liquor license, the board should.
We can't give them a new liquor license.
So where are they on here?
They're on 26 and 25.
Oh, no, but I mean like under, is it under a name or under the business?
Aerial Eagles.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I would send them a letter notifying them, because especially stating that your liquor license could be affected by renewal if you're behind on taxes.
Mhm.
Because we're not supposed to approve any permits,
Correct.
Yeah.
any licenses, anything like that.
Jim, where is that?
Um,
Is on this, there's FY 26. It's not personal property.
They're on FY 25, page 2 out of 3, for $4,121.62. Under real estate.
Let's see, FY 25. Here's 24. Okay,
So second page,
second page.
down towards the
Oh, it's Quabog, okay, I see,
area.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think sending the letter.
Okay. Because I just happened to notice that because, you know, we're gonna be doing liquor licenses soon, so
Okay,
we'll have Griffin send them a letter.
all right.
I would look at any local businesses, because I noticed a couple other businesses there that get licenses from the town,
Yeah,
particularly from Board of Health, that are behind on taxes, and probably give them a heads up saying that they can't approve any licenses or any permits if they're behind on taxes.
Mhm.
all right, then the other letter was from Mass DOT, do you wanna give us the lowdown on that?
Sure, we received this letter last month, and this is for a letter that I had sent for the installation of a crosswalk right here on Route 67, across from the senior center. They initially said no, then after some additional funding became available, they they approved my request to have an accessible pedestrian crosswalk installed here, as well as to put up some additional speed limit signs on this state road as well.
Very good. I know that's something we've been trying to do for a long time,
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
because it's kind of hard for
People
some
park right
older
across the
people to
street.
walk all the way down and back up.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Very good.
great, okay. Comments and concerns?
Well, as we were here, I was trying to get into my town email and I couldn't. So I tried to reset my password and it says you can't reset your own password because password reset isn't properly set up for your organization.
So you just have to create a service ticket with Entree, and they'll be able to reset it for you.
Okay. Could you send me the info, please?
So is that just a safety thing that they've implemented?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So how can you email Entree if you can't get into his email?
Well, you could call
Oh.
Chicken VA. All right, anything else?
Nope.
All right,
Good.
audience, any comments and concerns?
I just have a quick comment. I just want to give credit where credit's due. Before I say that, I'll just, what if CMRCP changes the date of their annual meeting? Anyway, that just, just consider moving the, and I believe me, I understand. It'd be great if you could do both. Anyway, enough said about that. I just appreciate that Selectman Dufresne brought up the concern that the town administrator brought up about the Chapter 90 funding with Jeremy. So thank you, Dave, for doing that, because I think it is important. I was going to say something at the time, if Dave didn't, that if there's no reaction to that, there needs to be.
Yeah.
And again, love Jeremy, nothing personal, but what I'll reiterate the words that Dave said about it. So, thank you.
Well, I mean, maybe part of that is how can we help him if he needs help? Just getting that done, maybe, you know, can we aid him in
That's a management thing, and he's gotta make time.
Yeah,
And we all find challenges sometimes with management, trying to be out there and working projects, making sure they're done properly. If you're short people, trying to fill in here and there when you can because you get time restraints. But you also gotta sit there in your office and dedicate some time and say, okay, now I gotta finish up some paperwork.
yeah.
And it might be, you might be burning a candle here and there a bit, but you gotta get it done.
Yeah.
Because if not, I'll tell you right now, the town is not gonna be happy if they gotta kick up $300,000 plus to pay for something that should have been paid out of Chapter 90.
Yeah,
And it was just a clerical thing.
yeah.
So that should be getting done, priority. And he does have a position that he needs to hire for still, right?
Yes.
Is it posted?
It was posted, we had resumes come in, I don't know if he selected anybody yet.
So something like that needs to be getting on to is if you got candidates, hire a candidate. Might not be a best qualified candidate. You can't look for the best peach in the batch every time. Sometimes you gotta take a peach, you know? So take a peach and get the job done.
All right. Okay, our next meeting is October 23rd at 6 PM. Anything else before we entertain a motion to
Nope.
adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
Richi Hacker, aye. We are adjourned.